Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I feel like a giant hot mess, so let's put on some expensive makeup and hope that I feel better because I keep looking in the mirror, monitor, like everything reflective, and I'm just like, it's just one of those days where I just feel yuck. Like my hair, I let air dry because I thought like maybe it'll be like beachy and cute and I can scrunch it. Really, it just looks like I put my finger in an electric socket and it's not cute. So we're in a bun yet again. It is swelteringly hot outside. I literally have a makeup brush holding this together, but the exciting part of this mess is that I have beautiful new luxury makeup to play with from Pat McGrath. I am really excited. I shared with you guys that I was gonna go out and purchase this foundation, primer, powder, the whole big thing. I did receive it in PR, and when I got it and opened it all up, I was pretty much on the floor screaming because I love Pat McGrath, and if you know anything about makeup, like if you're someone who's just like, oh, I know everything about the industry and all the famous artists and this and that and this, Pat McGrath is basically God. She really can't do much wrong, you know? Like she takes us to another dimension, galaxy, just version of ourselves with the kind of products that she puts out. Everything from like these very cool palettes. I wish I was in another dimension right now because there's some construction going on next door. Let's all collectively try to ignore that together. I'm gonna try on a boatload of what I already own and also do a full day wear test, and we're gonna put this new foundation through the ringer, see what's good about it, see what's not great about it. Let's first take a look at the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer. Anything that has the word sublime in it just sounds like, ooh, I want that. Like that sounds great. This comes in a bottle, to be honest, reminds me of, I imagine a volumizing powder to be in here. I imagine this being a really expensive deodorant or a serum. I've never seen a primer in a container like this, so it's really different. Gotta love something different, and it comes in a pump. Love that. It says it's gonna diminish the look of my pores. It's gonna add hydration through hyaluronic acid. I love that ingredient. It just kind of plumps up the skin, attracts moisture to the skin without adding grease. It has cosmetic filler powder, a coated microsphere powder meant to mimic the smoothness and clarity of ceramic. Oh my God, we're all gonna be porcelain dolls. Stop that. Okay, let's try this out. It's $60 for an ounce. That's a lot of money. I am a ceramic vase. No pores, no wrinkles. Infant skin, baby skin, man. Like no joke, like I'm being stupid funny, but like my nephew Logan, which by the way, have you guys seen the Toddler Picks My Makeup video? If you have not watched that, go watch it. It is the funniest, cutest, feel good, just wonderful video. It's one of the videos I've watched personally probably like 15 times. I love it so much because he is just such a little doll. But we filmed that video, and when I was like swatching his arm and just like being here with him, I was like, oh my gosh, you are literally like a velvet blanket. Like little kids and their skin. Okay, moving on. We're gonna go into the foundation. Now, I was sent the shade 10, and then I did on Sephora, which I was unaware you could do this. I don't shop for foundation on Sephora that often, to be honest. I like to go in the store, but I was looking at the different shade range and whatnot, and it has a shade finder for you. So if you have a foundation you already use and love, it will recommend, if they have it on their list, something comparable within whatever new launch is happening. I think that's really useful. So it recommended for me the shade 14. This might be too dark. Let's see. These are all very yellow. Oh my gosh, why am I feeling like I'm having a heart? I just primed my face with like the very expensive primer, and now I'm gonna take this off and have to reprime. I'm gonna mix 12 and the shade 10. I'm gonna go in with her foundation brush. I'm gonna aim to keep this pretty sheer. I want model skin today. Like I want juiced up, like model skin. I want to be like I'm walking the runway in my kitchen with my really bad hairdo. Wait, no, my hairdo is like very high fashion if I choose that it's high fashion. This is evening out on the skin really nicely. To me, I know what I'm getting with this. It's gonna be more sheer. It's gonna be more about just making the skin itself look really, really perfect, but still very, very natural. And that's kind of the aesthetic of the way she does faces. It's not overly structured and chiseled and all of that. It's like real skin, just of your dreams also, you know? I just kind of feel like I'm having like a plushy, good, hydrated skin day, and I like that. This says that it's good for all skin types, oily combo, normal, dry, that it will work for everyone, that it starts out more sheer, but you can build it up to medium. I find that to be completely true, and I think a lot of people will really, really like this. It's not Instagram makeup, you know, and there is a huge difference. And I noticed this when I'm talking to women in my life that, you know, don't sit in front of a camera or take photos all day or go to events, like that are in a real moving, fast-paced type of a job where they don't want to look super heavy, where the makeup, you know, can kind of take a back seat. And really what they're looking for is maybe something to support natural beauty, and there's nothing wrong with that. So like my sisters, they love a good, you know, tinted moisturizer and that kind of a thing, and I joke around and I'm like, oh, how? Ew, no, I need more. This is a product that will work for a lot of skin types and a lot of different desires out of makeup, so it makes sense to bring out this kind of a product. It says it's long wearing. We will see about that because I am gonna wear this all day long. This comes with a very hefty price tag of $68. I wouldn't expect Pat McGrath to come out with a $20 foundation though. I mean, the Mothership palettes are $125. You kind of know that this is a up there true blue luxury brand. So they put a lot of effort into each individual launch. You know, they're developing really innovative products. So I like that. I tend to enjoy that, not for everything because gosh, like I love the drugstore too, but I like this. This does look like a tiny bit yellow on me. I want to play around with the colors a little bit more. It's hard to do when I'm sitting right in front of all the lights, but I always like to have like that first reaction with you guys instead of coming in like over prepared, you know? So what I'm going to do right now is conceal my dark circles from no sleep, and we're going to move into Pat's new powder, which I'm really excited about because I just got rid of all my powder. All right, let's move into a tiny bit of like cream bronzer before we go into powder. So I feel like because I want to try a few different lip products on for you guys, I'm gonna go ahead first and line my lips with the shade Done Undone, which I went and purchased the same lip liner shade thinking that I was getting a new shade because I completely gravitate toward this kind of a color. I was at Sephora and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't ever try this one from Pat McGrath. And I came home and I'm like, you idiot. Like you literally bought the same lip liner 2 weeks ago. And to top it off, it gets better. I did that with this shade too. So I love the colors that Pat McGrath comes out with. They feel so elegant and dreamy and flattering, and a lot of them do look the same. So be careful. There's subtle differences that do really matter and can be super flattering and bring out the best of you depending on what look you're going for and what your skin undertones are. Like it's this beautiful range that has the perfect tone in every category. It's just beautifully done to the point that you may want to buy multiples without even realizing that's what you're doing. Okay, I just got distracted and I did my lips even though I have not yet powdered the face. Great. That's Peep Show. Love this shade. It's a beautiful matte, and Pat McGrath mattes tend to be matte to the look, but the feel is really, really comfortable. I've always really loved that. I don't have too many of her lipsticks. I have a lot of her glosses. We are gonna talk about those as well. I also wanna point out that in the very beginning, I was wearing one of the balms. This is the Blow Up Lip Fetish Balm, and this comes in many different shades. Like, I wouldn't even call it a sheer lipstick. It's even more sheer than that, just a very nourishing formula. I don't know that these are the best purchase if you're looking at Pat McGrath and you're like, what should I choose? Like, don't go for just the balm. Like, you can get a balm at the drugstore. If you feel like you love the packaging and you feel like being a little extra and you're like, oh yeah, that's cute, then go for it. But it's not the front runner in my opinion. So let's get to the powder and get to some of my favorite eyeshadows, because those are really special. All right, we're working with light medium 2. There is an even lighter shade, and this formula comes in 5 shades. Amino acid treated powder ensures color true performance even through sweat. This is free of parabens, fragrance, or it has less than 1% of synthetic fragrance. This looks really great. I think it sounds cool. Oh wow, there is a lot of pigment there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bake with it. Why not? I'm gonna kind of smooth out the under eye area and we'll just see what happens. That is definitely very yellow, but that's nice, you know? Oh my effing God. I literally just dunked my beauty blender in here. Most of these mesh tops, like, you have to press pretty hard to get any powder at all. I just made a mess. You know, I'm actually quite shocked that this has as much pigment as it does have. Oh my God, it's got everywhere. I wish I hadn't done what I did with the powder. I look really pretty though, so it's fine. Let's move on to a little brow, and I'm just gonna reach into one of the palettes and find a brown. Wow, I've never used that in my brows before, and this is a beautiful color in the brows. You would not think so just looking at it, because it has a little bit of a sheen. This is a palette out of the smaller ones that are 65 bucks a piece, I don't know, that I do reach for quite a bit. This is actually probably one of my favorites, just because I'm a neutral lover. I can't help it. Love me some neutrals. So that's a gorgeous, gorgeous little number right here. And that brown works beautifully as an eyeliner and, surprise, surprise, in the brow as well. I actually really enjoy putting a little bit of metallic in the brow recently. It's kind of strange, but I just like it. I'm gonna actually take a little bit of this brown metallic in here and just kind of shine up the front portion. It kind of, in my opinion, tricks the eye ever so slightly. Like, you don't want to use the wrong metallic, so be careful. But the way the light catches, like the little teeny tiny bits of mica, it just helps the brow to look a little bit fuller. The one thing I wish in some of the Pat McGrath palettes that they had were maybe just a couple mid-tone mattes, or not a couple, like just even one, because sometimes it feels like metallic, 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 super shiny crystal, deep black. Even if it's just like one of these, like how these are both metallic right here, if one of them was more satin or completely matte, just to have something to kind of work with in the crease, because I personally feel like a lot of my eye looks perform better and blend better and look better blended when I have a shade like that to kind of soften the edges. But I mean, like, you guys, like, there's just not much else out there that has the richness of Pat's shadows. Basically, I have a big old girl crush on this whole line for the most part. Okay, I'm gonna speed up the video so this is not 10,000 years long and get into the eye look, and we will be right back. This is one of my favorite kinds of eyeshadow looks. It hasn't been that popular for a minute, but this is really how I used to do my makeup all of the time, where it wasn't like too defined, no big wing liner, no cut crease. It was just kind of like really blended, sparkly, dramatic, and I'm really comfortable in a look like this, so I love it. I'm gonna put a gloss on before we continue with the rest of the eyes. We're just kind of going with this beautiful duochrome theme, so I'm gonna put on Earth Angel. Gorgeous gloss. Do you need it? No. Do you want it? Yeah, probably. These glosses are 30 bucks. Not the most special as far as what's available from Pat McGrath, because a gloss, some of these more duochromed ones are really, really cool, but a gloss is a gloss. I would definitely go for the matte lipstick first. I would go for the shadows first. And even exploring the, skin products, I'm really loving those. They're really special. She also has these really interesting metallic type lipsticks. Now, some of them have more metallic than other. It's almost like you can barely see the metallic in there. There are ones that are very metallic. This is brand new. I'm gonna save it to give away, but I wanted to show you guys what the packaging looks like. It's just so themed out and stunning. I have to share with you guys my favorite OG Pat McGrath, back before the big palettes came out. It was very much like Pat McGrath Labs, and everything kind of looked crappy on purpose. I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean that in it was this cool, like you were getting a lab sample and it was sent to you to kind of test out and judge and whatever. And it came in a little Ziploc bag with sequins, and these shadows are still just some of my favorites. This one right here, Astral White Pressed Pigment. I believe this is in one of the palettes that I probably gave away. I gave one to my sister, I forget which one, but that is one of the craziest, most gorgeous single shadows. Then this shade right here, Mercury, reminds me a lot of a Chanel ombre shadow that was cream, the tone of it that I used to love so much. Again, just really pretty, flattering metallic. And then the black, I think, is the same black, dark matter that's in all of the palettes. And that makes a great liner. I'm not gonna do black to line my eyes today, but I am gonna line my eyes. I'm taking a Scott Barnes 60. This is the multitasking dream brush. You can use this from everything to contouring your nose, your lips, brow application, liner application. It's just such a great brush. But because I don't want to pull or tug on that glitter too much, I'm almost just pressing it in and kind of dragging it down into the lash line. And it's just a little teeny tiny thing to do, but it does frame the eyes so nicely. I'm loving life right now. I really like this so much. Now, I have used Pat McGrath's liquid liner in the past. I have also in front of me some of her cream liners, which I'm gonna throw in the waterline. I will show you a swatch of all three that I have on hand. I have shade, I have black, and I have black coffee. I'm gonna go ahead and use the shade Black Coffee in my waterline. Gonna take a little peony pink from Honest. I'm gonna dip into an old fave just because I feel like it'll really work well with this particular look. This is from Stila. This is one of their putty highlights. And I'm gonna top it with a little bit of Lorac in Daylight. Go in with just a tiny bit of bronzer. And I feel totally good to go. I'm gonna spritz the face down with a little bit of Sorme Set setting spray. This has apple peptides in it. I've been really enjoying this. I got it at Namie's, and they make one of my favorite lip liners, just the natural lip liner. Not crazy expensive. That's one that Scott turned me on to, and it's just so nice. So I wanted to explore more. I haven't loved everything from them, but I am really enjoying this right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the face a spritz. I feel really good about my makeup. We're gonna see how long the foundation wears. It does claim to be long wear. So that's the big thing that I want to zero in on at the end of the day. So I'll be sure to do a few check-ins, and I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. All right, you guys, so I have been wearing this foundation for about 5 hours, almost 5 hours. It's a little bit past 7 now. I like my makeup today. I like the eye look so much. I do have to say, I feel like I could use a little powder, and I think that's because I'm not wearing a primer that's like mattifying in any way, shape, or form, and the foundation itself is a natural finish, so it's not a matte finish, it's not full coverage, it's not like holding together the way some of my other foundations do. That doesn't mean I don't like it, doesn't mean it's not a good foundation, just my observation thus far. The other kind of weird thing about this foundation is if you mess with your skin at all, if you touch your face too hard, it will completely rub off. I like went like this, like I was making some weird thing telling a story and I like bumped my face in a weird way and like the whole thing like peeled off. It was really weird. I touch my face a lot. It's a bad habit. I should not do that. I'm really dramatic when I story tell and I'll be like, oh, and then I'll like touch my face. I didn't really like put anything on top of it to try to fix it. I was just like, well, that sucks. You know, I'm at home, so it's fine. I'm doing a wear test. This is part of it. Everything else is looking good. I mean, a tiny bit of powder would be nice. I feel like maybe I could use a little concealer. I didn't put any concealer on the face. You know how I said I was going to? I didn't. But yeah, that's where we're at, guys. Good evening, everyone. It is now midnight. How does that happen? I'm not sure. It feels like the whole night was just like, boom, done. So my sciatica has been bugging me. I've been getting back into heavier lifting and I just sat in the hot tub for probably a solid 20 minutes and really tried to loosen things up. And the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because I got a pretty decent amount of steam on my face. The eyeshadow surprisingly is like still A+. The foundation at this point has just kind of fallen apart. I mean, it's a little bit rough looking, but that's because of the steam. This is definitely not one of those that has so much pigment that you're like locked in forever. So while the claim says it's long wearing, I would say it's average wearing plus. It's not super long wearing. What I will say is that the application feels great. It's nice and easy. It makes the skin look very pretty. It is very expensive, but I think a lot of people will really, really love it. What I'm most jazzed about is actually what made me basically choke and hack up a lung. That was on me because I like fluffed so much of the powder in the air. It was ridiculous. I really love that powder. It is beautiful. It has such a nice feel to it and it is so pigmented, but lightweight at the same time. So I can't wait to play with more powder from Pat McGrath. I think I'm gonna get the light one as well. And I guess long story short, where do we land? The price is so high on this one that I do want to wear it a few more times before telling you guys like, yes, this is the best thing ever. And also I feel like there are so many foundations launching right now from the drugstore and high-end. We have Maybelline, we have a Lava foundation, Anastasia, Charlotte Tilbury is coming out with a new one. Everyone is coming out with foundation right now. Tom Ford has a new one, I think, and a cushion. Like there's so much I want to try. And I think what I'm going to do is try this one a few more times, do videos on other exciting foundations that are launching. Be sure to let me know which ones you want me to put to the test on camera, and then do a major like hit list once I've tried a bunch of them multiple times. In my mind, that makes the most sense to me. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you have rung the bell so you'll be notified of that upcoming adventure in foundation. And of course, also make sure you're subscribed if you have not yet done that. All right. That wraps up this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you did. Leave me comments. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.